Okay, so you can see here the training content that I'm sharing with you. I just rearrange the content according to the I can assume that in this way you will understand better. So we just completed in a green highlighted. You can see here just a theoretical part of somehow from the product overview and the BeyondTrust portfolio. And then in our last session, actually, we actually performed the deployment of the appliance itself, like provisioning of the appliance, including the installation of the components, and then now we are able to just ready to go with the authentication, like integration with the our Active Directory or IAM solution to authenticate our AD users into BeyondTrust portal. Okay, so then there is a, you can say that core configuration that we will start today, like discovery and scanning of your assets. Like if you're performing implementation, so you have to build scans to run scan against your servers to build an inventory into the BeyondTrust. Okay, so why it is important, we'll work on this, and how you can achieve this, we'll work on this. So today's agenda is to just perform authentication, like integration with your Active Directory of your BeyondTrust portal, and then we'll work on the discovery. Yeah, let's just start. We show you currently this is our node 221. Should be working. Let me just verify first again. I should, because even I don't have the enough resources, so I have to just switch off the appliances sometimes. Okay, yeah. So you can see here, we just, in our last session, we deployed this appliance and we were able to log into the BeyondTrust portal using local account. So this is the actually BeyondTrust local account that we are using for administration purposes. So if we want to assign the access to the end users, so we have to integrate our Active Directory or IAM solution with the BeyondTrust portfolio, or you can say the BeyondTrust portal. So then we can assign the access of the portal in, at least for the users to log into the BeyondTrust. Okay, so right now we can see only we are using local administrator account, like local admin account, for just performing administration task. Okay, so let's just go. Okay, so here, whenever we are logging into the BeyondTrust portal as an administrator, I will see multiple options there. So I have to just go configuration, and there is a user management portal there, user management option in the role-based access. You can see here. Okay. So when I just go to the user management, you can see here only the administrator group is there, and also the only the BT admin account is there. That is actually I'm using right now. It's by default admin account created by the BeyondTrust when we are deploying the solution. When we deployed the solution, okay, first time. So this is the solution. Yeah, this is local BeyondTrust account actually. Yeah. Because to integrate with your Active Directory for the user authentication, okay, for the user authentication or running the LDAP queries. As I told you in our theoretical session, that we configure the bind account or LDAP account in the BeyondTrust that actually is responsible for authentication of the user accounts, and also for responsible for running the LDAP queries. If you know, let me show you. when I was, let me just open the file where I actually mentioned this thing as well. So it was inside this one. Let's see. I guess I missed somewhere, but the thing that I mentioned, it was in presentation. Yeah, let me just show you. Okay, when we were discussing the terminologies, you can see here the end user accounts and groups. Actually, this is the part that we are working today. So to authenticate with the user accounts that are actually Active Directory accounts, we need an Active Directory or LDAP account as a bind functionality. There is a bind account here in the third option. You can see. So this is the account that uses the actually used to run the LDAP queries or AD authenticate the AD users into the BeyondTrust portal. Okay. So this account we have to create first in our Active Directory, and then we'll create an account, this same account in the BeyondTrust portal and verify the integration. Okay. So let me just log in into my Active Directory first. You can see here, this is my IP of the Active Directory. Okay, I have to open the ADUC, Active Directory Users and Controls. Okay, so this is the OU that we created, and we will use this OU for all the users that we create for this actually training. So as I told you that just click on the right click on the OU and click on new, click on the user. So you will be able to see the form of the user, just mentioning the first account, first, name and last name. Like I'm going with the BT bind account. Okay. bt.bind01, like this is the username. Okay, and just mentioning the password, and that's it. We have created the account. Okay, so after just creating account, I have to assign the rights. You can see here by default beyond domain users rights are assigned, and as per our requirement for the BeyondTrust bind account, we just need read-only access to the this account actually. So let me just see any object. Okay, I have to remove this account. Okay, but this is primary, so let me just switch to this one. So you can see we assign only the read-only domain controller accounts, or sorry, rights to this account. That's it that we need from this was a part from Active Directory to creating the bind account. Okay, let's go back to the BeyondTrust. And here when you go to the configuration, like from menu configuration, and you will see here there is a directory query option here, and there is a directory credentials option here. So as you can see in the file, let me just open file again. Two type of approaches we use for the bind account. Like one bind account that we create is an unmanaged, like we can perform the auto management of the bind account itself as well in the BeyondTrust portal. Like we can create bind account as an unmanaged, and we can create a bind account that will auto manage the password of the bind account will be managed by the BeyondTrust itself as well. Okay, so these are two approaches. If we are going with unmanaged bind account, we have to create that account into the directory credentials option. Okay, how we can achieve this? Let's just begin, and then I'll just explain the thing. Okay, when you click on the directory credentials, you will see here the new create new directory credentials. When I click, it will ask me to just fill the form, like which type of account it's this, like it's LDAP account, it active directory account, or it's intra ID account. So I'm just going with active directory because I have only active directory right now. You can just mention the title here of the account, like the bind account. Okay, I'm managing here, so I'm mentioning here as an unmanaged, so this account's password will not be rotated. Okay, bind accounts. What is my domain of active directory? I'm just mentioning bt.lab. That's actually my domain. I'm mentioning my username of the bind account that I configured in the active directory, and mentioning my password. And you can test the credentials here as well. When you click that test credential, so it will perform authentication of this user with the same password that you configured with the active directory. So you can see here directory credential test has been successfully completed. Okay, so when you create the account, directory credentials accounts, it's created. You can see here, that's it. It's nothing, you know is there any question on this part? Like, this is just to create. Mhm. Mhm. No, Linux, you can see here, for Linux, we don't use the bind account. But if your Linux server is hosting an LDAP server, okay, so then we will go with, you create new directory credentials, and you have multiple options here. You go with the LDAP option, not the Active Directory. But the protocol at the backend, it will be used LDAP, same like, from Active Directory. Because when you are configuring active directory, LDAP services by default it's there. Okay, but at the back end protocol, it's used by LDAP. But whenever you don't have active directory, whenever you don't have Windows server, you have Linux servers. Okay, and you configured your LDAP server there, so then you have to configure LDAP option here, and you will use the same method that we configured in the active directory, but the option will be LDAP here, not the active directory. That's it. But LDAP server should run on the target, like for AWS. No, what? hmm Yeah, actually, currently the supported for the directory credentials. It's only these three options. Okay, so this was actually just bind account that is not managed by BeyondTrust. What if, because our second topic is, what if I want to, manage this account as well? Like, I want to create the same account, but it should be managed in the BeyondTrust. Okay, so administrators, you should not be changing the passwords of this account manually, so it should be from the BeyondTrust portal. So then you have to configure bind account not in this portal, like from the role based access and directory credentials. You have to make it managed account, okay, and use it as a bind account. So I'll just guide you now. Yes, we can do this. Let's just go the as you saw, right now the password that I configured in the BeyondTrust, it's working with this one. Okay, when I auto manage in the BeyondTrust, so I'll just start auto management. Okay, so it should be changing the password, but it will not synchronize the password with in this portal like here. Okay, so we'll just test at that time. It will see that either the old password with the old password is working or not. Okay, for just for testing, let's go with the second point, to managing the bind account. Okay, to do this, just go to the manage systems there, not account, because we have to configure the accounts on a system level. Okay, so we have to go to the manage systems, and you will see our domain that we configured last, in our last session. We configured our managed system of our active directory domain. Okay, just to you can say that create account locally here. So I just want to create account for a creating of account, like for manually creating account. So you have only one option. Just go to the domain, okay, for Active Directory only. Just go to the manage systems domain, or either you have to create manage system of the your domain, AD domain, and then you will see this item here as a manage system. And then you have to click on three dot, and there is an option create new manage account. Okay, either you can go from here, either you can go from advanced details, and there's a manage account tab, and you can see here all the manage accounts. If there are any manage accounts there under this domain or under this manage system, so you will see here currently there is no any manage account. Okay, so if I onboard my account, like if I create my account, that's bind account here, that will be under management of this managed system, like bt.lab managed system. Okay, and if I start auto management, so this functional account will start rotating the passwords of all managed accounts that are actually onboarded here. Okay, under this domain, under this managed system. You got my point? Okay, so let's just creating a new there is option creating a new manage account, and whenever you click, some options will be there, like you can see here. By default the manage systems options will be there, and also it will asking you for the configuring the some options for the, or you can say that some things that for the manage account is needed. Okay, like the main thing that I want to mention, whenever it's asking the name of account, so you should be aware that it's asking for the username of the your account actually. Okay, so don't mention like first name or last name, just mention the username instead of the name. Okay, so let's go. The username of my account, it's bt.bind01. Okay, you can see, and the UPN is bt.bind01@bt.lib. So you should be knowing that what are your UPN name, same account name, password, like XYZ, all the things, because we are going to configure or onboard account as a manual method. Okay, so this is the manual method of onboarding account. So you should be knowing all the things there. Okay, like you can see, I'm aware that my account username is this. I'm aware that my account UPN is this. I'm aware that my account same account name is this, and yeah, the main things that these were the main things actually. And also I know that my password is this. You can see. Okay. You can see I just configure the username, UPN, same account name. Okay. These are the optional fields like description, and I just configured the password as well. I started the automatic password of changing option, and it's asking me the password policy. You saw, okay, the password policy that we configured in the second session. Okay, in the day 2, you can see here the Linux password policy or Windows password policy. I'll just go to the Windows password policy. Yeah, and I'll just assign the frequency, like when to change the password. I'm just assigning it like recurring, for every day it should change, and from tomorrow in night 12 a.m. okay, whenever it appear 12, it should change the password. Change password after release, I don't want this one option, because there's no any release duration for ISA. We will use this account as a bind account. Okay, not for the launching the sessions. Okay, and you can see here the main option, it's directory query enable. Whenever I'll enable the directory query option, so it will act as a bind account. Okay, this manage account will act as a bind account. That's the main option for configuring the bind account as a managed bind account. So I have to enable this one first. For your information, I'll just make this disable. Okay, I'll just show you one thing here. Okay, I'm just creating it's like a normal manage account. Okay, just creating it, and you will see here the test account, it should work. You can see. Okay, so account is working. there is a test account, test password here, the option that is available in the BeyondTrust manage accounts to test the passwords of the BeyondTrust manage accounts. So this is manage account that we created just few seconds ago. Okay, and it's working. But I have to make this account as a bind account. I have to use this account as a bind account in the BeyondTrust. Okay, so let me just show you. When I go to the configuration, user management, and there is a creating new group. If I'm going with Active Directory synchronizing the group, you can see here in an Active Directory group, you can see here the list contains no data for the credentials. Okay, because I need a credential to run LDAP query or bind the BeyondTrust groups into the BeyondTrust portal. Okay, oh sorry, AD groups into the BeyondTrust portal. So you can see here there is no any Active Directory. You can say that bind account like LDAP account, because I created account with with no directory query enable option. Okay, once you create account, you can see into the manage account as well. Okay, let me just go to the manage account. You can see the only one account that we created, it's Active Directory bind account. Okay, so let me just make it as a bind account. Just go to the edit, scroll down to the last, there is account settings, and you can see here directory query enable option. It was disabled. I just enable it and update account. So now this account will act as a bind account. Okay, all of a sudden, just I go to the user management, same, create new account, just go with the adding new Active Directory account, and you will see here the account automatically reflected from my managed accounts tab. That is actually my bind account. Okay, this point is clear for you, or I guess they should be. Mm. Mhm. Okay, because this in the last session I just bypassed this method. I just want to show you that there are two tabs you can see here: manage system and manage accounts. The one thing, look, if I'm creating account here, I have to create account under this under any of the system, because that account is running on any system. Okay, that account is hosting, or you can say that running on any of the system. Either it is local, either it is domain account. Okay, so when we are considering domain accounts, so all the domain accounts or all the domain joined systems are under a domain. Okay, and if we are considering Active Directory, so we have to build in such a way in the BeyondTrust that all the accounts of the Active Directory should be under this domain. That is actually Active Directory domain. Okay, so that domain will be as a managed system in the BeyondTrust. That's why you can see here we created in our last session, our domain is a managed system. We onboarded our domain as a managed system into the BeyondTrust, and then what we did, we onboard our account. Like this is the manual way of onboarding accounts into the BeyondTrust. Just what I did, I created account that is actually onboarding process of account into the BeyondTrust. Okay, but that account is under domain. Yes, yes, directly. Okay. Yes, yes, I'm listening. Okay, I was mentioning at that time, if you are going for a bind account, that should not rotate the password. Okay, so if I want my bind account to not rotating the passwords of itself, okay, so then I configured my bind account into the BeyondTrust directory credentials. Okay, that was actually unmanaged. You can see I mention it like unmanaged. So what it means, if I have created my bind account here, so it will be like bind account. Okay, I don't want to mention it like I will use this as a bind account or XYZ. It will automatically treating BeyondTrust will treat this account as a like a bind account. But the problem is that account will be not managed by the BeyondTrust. Okay, so the password of that account should be this remaining the same. So if I want to, yes. Yes, they have to manually change the password here as well. Yeah, like that was I mentioning, because I onboarded first, created bind account here without management with the old password. Okay, so then I use the same account into the management as well. Okay, and use the as a bind account as well. But when I change the password, or BeyondTrust will change the password, as you can see here, there is a forcefully changing the password option of the manage accounts. If I do this, okay, you can see here. So once the password change is completed, let it just be complete, because it will take few seconds. Yeah, you can see here password changes successfully. And when I test it, it will work only, that account password will work on, only from here. And I don't know the password as an administrator even. Okay, BeyondTrust knows the password. At the backend, it changed the password. So when I go to the same account that I created as an unmanaged, so earlier it test credentials were working. Okay, currently it will not work. It should not work. Okay, but the password is changed. Okay, let me just show you. I don't know if they changed the settings or not, but it should not work. Because earlier what we did actually, when we create account here, okay, and the account is already there at the backend in the direct credential. So the it was not syncing the password, because regularly BeyondTrust change the things, so maybe they change the things, but the password is changed actually from here. When you perform the forcefully change the operations, the password is changed, and you can test the password from here only. Okay, so it should not work not from the direct credentials, but it's working, it's still working, so it's good thing. You can expect this thing. Yeah, yeah, this is now managed, not managed, unmanaged. This is now managed. The main thing that I was highlighting here, when we configure BeyondTrust account here, so if it's not managed, or if it's even managed from the BeyondTrust, so the credentials automatically not synchronizing from the managed accounts tab to the direct credential tab, but currently it's synchronizing. Okay. You can see test credentials. Okay, now yeah, that was I mentioned. You can see the credentials entered failed because of the credentials BeyondTrust rotated. Just few seconds ago in the manage accounts, BeyondTrust rotates the password of the this account, like pd.bind.01 or bind01 in the manage account. So this password that I configured here, it's not working anymore. When you click on test credentials, you can see here that now test credential is not working, because I configured the old password in the beginning to this account here in the directory. So this, in this step that I was mentioning at that time, whenever you are configuring bind account in this tab, it will be not managed. Okay, so if you want to create your account into management as a bind perspective, like LDAP perspective, so you have to go to the manage account or manage system and creating account under the AD domain. Okay, that we did actually just few minutes ago. Okay, so now I'll just delete this account here, because this will not work. Okay, and you can see here no any direct credentials here. Okay, but only I'm using this account as a bind account, and I just enable it as a directory credentials enable. You can see. Okay, so it should appear whenever I needed the bind account, either from the synchronizing active directory account groups here for the authentication, or running the LDAP queries. It will populate to me for the use at the backend. It will inject the credentials into the session for the LDAP, and it will just show me the username that this is the account that is used for the bind account. At the backend, it will rotate the passwords. That's it. So any question, or just we will move to the end? Okay. So you can see the first two topics we completed. Bind account, like for the unmanaged perspective, bind account as a managed perspective. Okay. Now what we do, we'll create user management groups into the BeyondTrust portal for the role-based access, for example, and we'll enable all the users to authenticate in the BeyondTrust. Okay. For example, I just want to show you in our Active Directory, I have some accounts there. Okay, like not in this OU, I have some accounts. I want to assign the access to those accounts to be logged into the BeyondTrust. Okay, then we'll its later part assigning them the manage system access, manage accounts access, and XYZ. Today only we are focusing on providing the authentication, or you can say that providing the access of the portal BeyondTrust. Okay, so to do this, I'll just go and create security group. I'll just go in such a way that I'll create a security group here, and I'll assign the name of the security group as a BeyondTrust PAM requesters. Okay, you can see I'm creating a security group name as a PAM requesters. Once I create this one, I'll just go this security inside the security group and make all the accounts member of this security group. Okay, that I want to assign the access. Okay, you can see here no any members there because this is the new security group. I'll just go with the heading, and there is a one group account there. This is my account, you can see. Okay, I just assign into this group, and yeah, I added this one. Okay, now I'll add this account because these are the local users account, normal users account. Okay, I want to assign them. So only these three accounts have the access to log in into the BeyondTrust if I synchronize this group into the BeyondTrust. That's the thing. Okay. Mhm. No. These accounts are normal accounts. Like these accounts will be as a treating as a normal, non unprivileged account. Like sometimes we use in AD, we use some accounts for integrating with the solutions to perform the authentication only. Okay, so those accounts not requiring any privilege to integrate or authenticate with the any solution. Sometimes like for firewalls or for VMware workstations, most of the in production environment, system administrators will create account, a normal account, those are not privileged account, and just assigning those accounts to the solution itself just to authenticate. That's it. We are doing the same here. Okay, just creating. Okay, now you can see here only three accounts are there, and this account is this security group is created for integrating or synchronizing with the BeyondTrust. Okay, whenever I start synchronizing, so it will allow these users to log into the BeyondTrust. I'll just show you. Okay, so from this was from Active Directory part. Let's go back to the BeyondTrust, and you can see here no any AD security group there. If I want to synchronize, I have to just go to the creating new group, adding an Active Directory group, and you can see here, as I told you, that credentials will automatically populate for you. Okay, at the backend. So this is actually managed by the BeyondTrust, this part, and it will ask by default inject the domain there because this account is only for this domain. You can see pt.lab, and automatically it will inject the domain there, and you will have a filter there. So using the filter tab, you can filter out the groups there as well. So you can use the wildcard character to filter the group name, security group's name. So the group that we created here, it's PAM. Okay, so I'm using the PAM star filter just to run a query that will populate, or you can say that will fetch the account, or that will fetch the security groups name with the PAM. Okay, naming with the PAM in the first letter. Okay, so when I just run the AD search PAM Active Directory, you can see here there is a already created PAM request as in a capital way. You can see. Okay, but our security group is under the like PAM and requesters in a sentence format. So this is our security group that we created. I'll just show you. You can see PAM requesters. So then if I want to synchronize the any of the account, I have to just mark like this and just creating add account, add group. So automatically it will start synchronizing. You can see synchronization had been started, and PAM requesters group is in the BeyondTrust now. You can see bd.lab PAM requesters, and whenever you will go to the users, you will see all the users that we assign at the backend to this group actually. Now, yeah, now they have the access to the web console. Okay, you can see. Sorry, this is just a manual for assigning permissions. Yeah, this is the manual actually. Yeah, that's the manual. Okay, so let's test. Our Let me just log in into this console using the account that I have, and let's troubleshoot because I know it will not work. But let's see. I will just show you. For example, I'm going with this account. Like this was the account. Okay, and I'm just mentioning the password. And the main thing, I have to mention the domain as well. Okay, when I click on login, so it's not authenticating me. So that for troubleshooting, I just want to show you, go to the configuration, user audits. You will see the account and login failure event there, and in I icon, I can see it's invalid username and password. So what I have to do, I have to just verify that here. Going to the PAM requesters, I want to go to members. I want to just, because I think there's an issue with this account, I have to reset the password again for this account. Let me just open. This is my account. Yeah, I used Naveen, but I need my account actually. I know my account have also the issue, so let me just sort out this one. You can see this account. Yeah, there's an arrow there. You can see. Just let me just reset the password. Yeah, it's unlocked. Okay. I don't know why it's appearing this account, this error. Okay. Let me just reset the password for the Naveen as well, because this account should work. So both accounts I changed the password and it should work. At least Naveen should work. Okay. So let's try again. This is account, this is password, and this is just login. Reset. So let's change the error now. I think it should populate the smart. Yeah, this one. So user is, now you can see the error changes actually. Okay. Whenever I change the password and just mention the new password, you can see here the error is like user have no security rules, smart rules actually, because user have in a short way you can say this error whenever we don't assign anything to the user. Okay, so currently user is able to log in, but the user have no rights to view the things. Okay, you can see here we just synchronized, and that's it. The user is able to log in and the user is authenticated properly, but the problem is we have not assigned any smart rules or smart groups to the user, so that's why they are just kicking the session out. That's it. Okay, when we onboard the all the accounts, all the systems, we'll assign to this group and we'll use this account to log in and verify the account. That's it. Now the account is working, you can see, because the last error you can see here, the first error, it was regarding the password. Okay, the last error that we did, it's regarding the permissions. So in BeyondTrust, no any permissions, that's why user is not able to log in. That's it. You got my point? Not because we, yeah, we have to create the smart rules for the accounts that we have to assign to this group for getting the sessions. Currently this group have no any smart groups, smart rules, no any permissions to get login into the servers, because we are not working on the onboarding servers now. Okay, we are working only for authentication. Okay, so that's why this was the part that we will handle today. And the second part, when we complete the onboarding phase for day 2, day 3, day 4, XYZ, I guess our next targets are like this. Let's see, onboarding. When we complete this part, and then we can assign the access to the end users groups, and users will be able to log in and verify the sessions itself as well. Currently, they have no rights to get the sessions. That's why just they are populating the the username and password completely authenticate, but the user have no rights. Okay, let me just show you here as well. And the details you can see, user are only the security groups are there, no any security smart groups there, no any features there. Okay, so these two options enables the users to assigning the permissions, either from the features perspective, either from the smart groups, smart groups assigning the end users to just log getting the sessions of the servers that we onboard into the BeyondTrust. So currently there is no any smart group. You got it? Mhm. So that's about the fourth part. Just both. Yeah, system onboarding and account onboarding. It should be both. To because sessions will be launching from BeyondTrust, so Beyond should know that which servers are there to be running the sessions. Okay, so this is actually tomorrow's, or you can say our next sessions part, onboarding system. Currently, we were just trying to achieve the authentication part. Okay, so authentication it's done. Authentication is working. As I told you that it's not showing us that now authentication or the users level issues. Only the issue is regarding the permissions. Permissions are just because of we don't have accounts or systems into the pointers. That's it. We'll work on this in the next session. Okay. Yes. Okay. So let's go to the point number 5. You can say that our agenda number 5. That is the main part to when you are onboarding. As I told you, there are 3 ways. Okay. In such a way, I can just categorize these things. Just and okay. Mhm. Okay. What we did actually, we created a user bind account there. Bind account. Initially, I'm just going to the back. We created functional account. Okay, you are able to see my screen properly. Okay, okay, okay. In our last session, what we did actually, after provisioning of the appliance, we created functional account. Okay, and we created a managed system named as an active directory bind pt.lab. That's like my active directory domain. Okay, so under this domain, I created bind account. Okay, as a management perspective as well. And that account is managed by the BeyondTrust under this domain. Okay, using the that same functional account. Now just I'm putting in a hierarchy way. Okay, so now this part is done. What if I have to do now scanning? I have to create another account there, not here, under this same domain as a managed account, but it will be used as a scan account. Okay, So both accounts will be treating like as a managed account, like as a bind account. The scan account will be under the management of that domain, under the BeyondTrust. Using the same function account, BeyondTrust will rotate the password of bind account and scan account. Bind account will be used for the binding or LDAP queries perspective. Okay, so a scan account will be used for the running scans against the domain controllers or against the domain joined servers. Okay, whenever I have to run the scan, I need a scan credentials. Okay, let me just show you. Whenever you go to the menu, you see here the discovery option there. Okay, discovery or directory scans or XYZ. So when you go to the discovery scan, you will see the UVM appliance as a discovery scanner. Okay, so BeyondTrust here the discovery scanner that actually will be mostly used for running the scans against the target servers. Target servers are your end servers that mostly you want to onboard into the BeyondTrust. Okay, like your domain controllers, like your IT infrastructure, all the assets. Okay, those are our target servers or target assets. Okay, so to onboarding the performing the onboarding phase, you have to run the scans to build an inventory first. Okay, that I was mentioning here in our like this. For onboarding, in onboarding, first part is to just building inventory. Okay, this is the first phase actually of completely implementation. Okay, when you complete the inventory, okay, you have another phase there. Let me just open. Okay, that actually have the onboarding phase, actually onboarding systems. Okay, so now this is the second this will be the second phase. The first phase will be building inventory, and based on the inventory will perform the onboarding. Okay, onboarding of your systems, onboarding of your accounts, and the third phase will be assigning the permissions to the end user. Okay, that's it. So in such a way, like phase one, phase two, phase three. Phase one is building inventory, phase two is onboarding, phase three is assigning permissions to the end user. That's it. After this, user will be able to see the assets in the BeyondTrust, and user will be able to get the sessions from the BeyondTrust. Okay, that's it. All the management. Now all these configuration, all these administration, all these implementation based on these three parts. Okay, now we are going to the actual configuration, or you can say that actual implementation of the BeyondTrust. The part that we covered, actually it was prerequisites of all the things. Okay, some of the prerequisites we still have to complete, but most of the prerequisites we completed. Okay, so now let me just show you, as I told you that for building inventory there is a you can say that here we have a discovery engine. Okay, discovery engine, or you can say that discovery scanner or XYZ, that actually run the scan. Okay, but for running the scan, it always need it always need a scan account. Okay, on the target system. Like for example, if I'm going to the directory, like if I'm going to the Active Directory accounts or Active Directory systems to be scanned, I have to create scan account, and I have to use that scan account to run the scan against those servers. Okay, like in such a way this. So now what is our second task? Let me just show you. Here we have to first creating directory credential discovery credentials. Okay, like same way in an unmanaged way, and then will use the same credentials, or we can say that we will use that same credentials to be managed by the BeyondTrust. Okay, the same part that we covered for the bind account. Any confusion? No, we haven't created. Yes, now will work. Okay, let's go to the Active Directory and create a scan account first. Okay, now I'm going to create here the scan account. Just go to the new user BT scan account. The user is BT scan 01. And also the scan account should have the elevated privileges, like like high level privileges, because it will run the scan against the target systems and face all the things like services and like you know most of the things. Okay, it should be at least member of domain admins. You can say domain admins. Okay, apply. Okay, so sometimes our firewall interact and create issues for us. So let's just disable the firewall first, and not in the production, but in the our testing environment, just to make this run easily. Just turn off the firewall. Okay, and also I have created a scan account here with the member of domain admin privileges. Okay, so it have the elevated privileges now. Let's go back to the BeyondTrust. Now in the BeyondTrust, you can see here in configuration option, there is a discovery management feature. Okay, discovery management tile or something. In discovery management, you can see here the credentials. Whenever you go to the credentials, okay, so you will see all the credentials that are used for the scan purposes for all the target servers, even it's Active Directory, even it's Linux, even it's any other platform. Okay, so here whenever you are creating the scan account here, it will be not managed by the BeyondTrust. Okay, because these accounts will be only used for the scan, and like same for the bind account. If you are going for the management of the scan account, you have to create that same account under the management of a domain, like in the manage accounts. Okay, not in the here. But let's figure it out here first. The first task is to create a scan account with not auto management. Okay, let's create a new credentials here. It will asking you for the credential name, like this is AV scan account, but it's unmanaged. I'm just mentioning here unmanaged. Okay, it will ask you for the type. You will see here MSSQL, MySQL, Oracle, MongoDB. These are the SQL ones. SNMP, Teradata, SSH, or Windows. This is the Windows based, so I'll just go Windows. So if this is Active Directory, it will asking you for me to the domain. Like my domain is pt.lab, and the username, it's asking me for the scan account. It's btscan01. I'll just mention the password. Okay, and just create it. That's it. The account is created. You can see. Okay, for the scanning. But this is what this is. This is unmanaged. This is not managed. Okay, this was our first task actually. Okay, like you could say creating configuring directory credentials for unmanaged for Active Directory. This is our first part. Let's create the account for the Active Directory as an auto managed. Okay, I'll use the same account. Okay, I just go to the for the auto management. What I have to do, just I have to go to the bt.lab in the manage system tab. Okay, as I told you here in the diagram, you can see bt.lab. It will be under the scan account will be under the bt.lab. Okay, so I have to create bt scan account under this bt.lab manage system. What I have to do, just click on three dot, create new manage account. It will ask me for the details, bt.scan.01. Okay, I mentioned username, UPN, same account name. Okay, the password. The main thing, it will asking me either BeyondTrust should manage this account or not, and I'll just go with enable, and it will asking me for the Windows or the Linux password policy as per our configuration. For the password policy, I'll use the Windows password policy. Change frequency should be daily basis, and it should be on in night 12 a.m. Okay, this account will should not be used for the release duration. And the main thing, you will not see any account option there for scanning. Okay, just I meant you will see scanner settings option there. You can see here. Okay, when you go to this option, you will have a scanner enable option. When you enable this scanner option, this account will be used as scan purposes of this account for this bt.lab. Okay, so when I enable, it will asking me for scan credential name. Like I'm just mentioning AD managed, sorry, AD scan account as in managed. Okay, the account that I created in the directory credential or discovery credentials, I mentioned unmanaged. Okay, I mentioned here as a managed. I just create it and I will test this account. For testing, I have to go to the manage account. Okay, you can see the second account is created bt.scan.0. Okay, I have to test and it's working. Okay, and if I want to forcefully change the password, just click on change password. BeyondTrust will start changing the password of this account. I think it will not work. I'll just show you why. Okay, but it's working. Okay, yeah, you can test the password again. Yeah, the password is working and this account is used by the scanner engine now. How could I identify? I'll just go to the configuration. Okay, go to the discovery management credentials and you will see two accounts there. One is managed, one is auto managed. The manage account will show you only the details like this is managed by the BeyondTrust. That's it. Okay, you can just configure the type. That's actually type based on the account. You can see last updated by BT admin. This was XYZ. Okay, so this is the same account. Okay, but this account is managed, not managed. You can see here you have to change the password always here, but same account I put it under the management, and BeyondTrust it starts the rotation of this account and it will work. Okay, no, like look, same account cannot be managed, cannot be unmanaged. Okay, the thing that I mentioned here, just to showing you how many options you have to configure, how many options or flexibility you have to do the things. That's what I can create the multiple accounts, but I use the same account for the management, for the unmanagement. But most of the times, for the recommendation that I want to mention here, one thing from the BeyondTrust recommendation, whenever you are going for the bind account, whenever you are going for the scan account, you have to make those accounts under the management. Okay, not in the credential. These options are their old options, like their legacy options. Okay, whenever we have some accounts, like we have whenever you have some accounts that you don't want to managed for some targets, you can configure it here. But whenever you have some accounts that you can manage through the BeyondTrust will recommend you to just configure those accounts and not in this way. Just go to the managed accounts and manage the configure those accounts under the manage accounts. That's it, because BeyondTrust should rotate the password of these accounts as well. These accounts are also the privileged accounts. Like these accounts are also used for the BeyondTrust to be perform the operations. So in case, for example, BeyondTrust is rotating the passwords of your user accounts and not rotating the passwords of these type of accounts. So, attackers can be getting, exploits using these accounts as well, because these accounts are not managed. So that's why BT recommends to just use these accounts as a managed as well. So that's why they recommend to just put these accounts under the management. I use all same accounts here just because I want to show you that how many flexibility options you have. That's it. I'll just delete this. I'll just delete this account. It does not require, or either this will not work as well. You can just see the account here. This account is used as a scan purposes. That's why it's showing me here. Otherwise, I have no option, no control over this account from here. If I want to just change the password, BeyondTrust have the rights to change the password. I just want to force the BeyondTrust to change the password from the manage accounts tab. Otherwise, I can just see the account here. It's configured under the management. That's it. Sometimes I know I'm what I am. Yeah, I'm just confusing the things, but okay. So let's go to the now running the discovery scans. Now you can see we have 3 discovery scans types in the BeyondTrust. Let me just show you. Whenever you go to the discovery, you will have option there, run a new discovery scan. Okay, here you can see here the tab active and completed scans here. Currently no any active, no any completed scans, because we just provisioned few days ago this appliance. There is no any active or completed scans there, and you can schedule the scans on a timely basis to run a scan. Either those are active, either those are inactive, you can see here. But in case if you are configuring new scan, you have to just go to the run a new discovery scan here. Okay, and you will see the option there. This is like a discovery wizard. Okay, it will ask run you through these steps, like these are 5 steps you can just pass to run a scan. Okay, or you pass to run configure a scan. Okay, so first option, it will ask you for a scan type. Now look, there are three scans here that I can run. Either I can go with that IP discovery, either I can go with the retail discovery scan, either I can go with the discovery local accounts. So if I'm going with IP discovery, it's not an credential scan. It will not require me to run scan against the server using a credential. It will not ask me for credential. Okay, IP discovery is like a nmap scan. If you know the nmap scan, network mapper. Yes, yes. So it's like just it will validate the IPs in the system, in your IP infrastructure, that how many IPs are currently in use. On the basis of IP pinging and XYZ, it will show us the updated list of the IPs, or it will show us the assets that are actually currently powered on. That's it. It will not reflect any running account. It will not reflect any running services, any running IS pools, XYZ, any details. It will just show us the IP details, that these IPs are being used in your IT infrastructure. Okay, so that's why it never requires scan account. You got my point? Yeah, let's yes, let's go with the IP first, IP discovery first, because I want to know that how many assets I have in my IT infrastructure. Okay, and in my lab setup. So let's go to the IP discovery. Just click on next. The next part, it will ask me for the scan to how many targets it should target. The scan should target. Okay, so I'll just go with the IP19 complete subnet. I have the lab subnet 192.168.1.0/24. So this is my lab subnet. You can mention multiple IPs here, like 192.168.1.1, 192.168.1.9, multiple random IPs using the comma. Like this. I just put it is under the comma, like you can see comma. Okay, you can mention like this, multiple subnets like 192.168.1.0 /24, and I want to just run this scan against this subnet as well. For example, 10. 024. So I can mention multiple subnets, I can mention multiple IPs, random IPs, I can mention the range, I guess, yeah, range. So the, for segregation, we have to use the comma. That's it. Okay. You can mention the host name as well. Like for example, I'm going with the UVM02. This is the host name of the appliance. Okay. For example, so we can use the host name, we can use the IP, single IP, we can use the IP subnets, IP range. That's it. Okay. But all the things should be separated from the comma. So currently I'm just using the 192.168.1.0/24. That's it. I'll just go with the complete subnet, click on next. Then it will ask me for the scan agents. All the appliances, if I'm running appliances under the active or active passive mode, it will show me here. Okay, so all the single appliance, it will run as a scan agent. Okay, if I have multiple appliances configured in the BeyondTrust, in the in my IT infrastructure, in my infrastructure using the I will see the all the agents here. So I have to just mark any of the single agent or multiple agent as per my need, and I'm just going with one of the agent currently I have. And then in the credentials tab, if I'm not running the IP discovery scan, it will ask me for credential. Okay, but currently you can see no any credentials it's showing me because of its IP discovery option. Okay, so in IP discovery it will not ask you for credentials to be configured. Then you can just mention the discovery name, like IP discovery 01. For example, this is for testing. And you can scan the about, you can mention the about timing of this scan. I'll just go make this disable. You can schedule the scan as per your need. Either you go with immediately, either you go configure this scan for one time use, for the future one, like you want to configure this account for running tonight. Okay, in not in production times, and you want to just run on one time. Okay, not regular basis. So you can just configure one time and mention the time period for this running the scan. And if you want to configure this account as a regular basis, okay, either you can just configure it as a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis. You can just make it, and you can mention the start date. If you are going for weekly basis, it will ask you on which day it should run, like on Friday, on Saturday, Sunday, like XYZ, and at what time it should run. Okay, if you are going for daily basis, it will ask you how many number of days it should run, like 1, 2, 3, as per your need. Or if you can configure only for the weekends, you can just make it like a weekend. Okay, if you're going yeah. mm, in my agent, yes, this, yeah, scan agent is like your appliance is same like scan agent. The appliance have built-in scan agent itself as well. Okay, so we will use the same scan agent that is running on the same appliance. You can see my IP 192.168.1.221. So it is under the same subnet. So it should have the reachability in the network point of view. So once it is then I can run the scan. Alright, so I'm just going with immediate option currently for schedule type. I want to just run this one time right now. Let's just finish, and you can see here. Okay, it's scheduled. So it will take their discovery agent is a little bit slow, you can say, compared to the other perspective, but the discovery agent is strong enough to fetch the things. Okay, so it will take few minutes just to complete the scan, and once the scan is being completed, you will be able to see the assets in the assets tab. Okay, because as I told you, this asset tab is like a inventory tab. Okay, so all the inventory you are building, you will be able to see all the assets here in your assets tab. Okay, once the scan completed, okay, your inventory will be start building in your assets tab, like you can see here. Last updated filter, you can make the filter and XYZ. You can start the onboarding from here as well. It's up to you. You can see currently we have only one appliance in our infrastructure. as per BeyondTrust. Okay, so once the scan, yes, yes. But the problem is when you are going for manually, I'll just explain here, because our next task is like this, reviewing assets like this, manually just assigning the access. So when you are going for manually creating assets, you have to make sure that assets host name, it should match with the assets name, assets DNS should match for the you should have all the details like for DNS of that asset, domain of that assets, IP of that assets, XYZ. Okay, so sometimes it's a problem for administrators to manage all the assets manually. So that's why they have their own built-in discovery scanner to run the scan against the servers itself in a bulk way, and you will have a complete details in a form in the BeyondTrust for either automation, either manually performing the onboarding. It's up to you. Okay, so let's just complete this discovery scan until the our second part. Let me just complete the second part. We have to create a Linux scan account and MSSQL database scan account as well. Okay, let's go with the Linux one first. Okay, because this was only for the Active Directory. Okay, let's go to the now what I want to mention here for the Linux one. This is unmanaged. You can see for the management perspective, we created only Active Directory account. Okay, all the local Windows servers and Linux and MSSQL servers, those have scan account that we will use, but it will be unmanaged. Okay, currently. So for unmanaged, as I told you, we have to go to the configuration and credentials. We have to configure it here, not the manage account. Okay, that's why I was mentioning in the beginning both methods. Okay, you got my point. Mm-hmm. Yes, root accounts, that's what I was mentioning. As a account most probably, but if you are going for the there are some permissions. I will just share you the article after this as well from BeyondTrust. You can create new accounts because these accounts will be rotated, or you can say that these accounts will be managed by the BeyondTrust itself. So if you want to configure new accounts, new scan accounts, you have to create new accounts into the MSSQL or any SQL database, and also for the Linux as well. And you can just assign the permissions that are required from the BeyondTrust. Okay, sudoers permissions or the pp run permissions are required for the Linux ones, and also I guess if I'm not wrong, for system administrator permissions from the MSSQL point of view. Okay, so you have to assign the permissions, and there are some recommended permissions from the BeyondTrust itself. So they have article regarding this scan account permissions, and you can use that article to just sometimes asking system administrators or XYZ to just perform the things. Okay, let me just see the Linux machine there, LX01. Yeah, there is a, let me just open this one. Okay, currently I will use the same root account. Okay, I'll not create another account, I'll use the same account. Okay, okay, let me just close this. Yes, yes. Okay, so let's go with the creating new credentials, because this will not be managed by the BeyondTrust. Okay, these accounts will be only used for the credentials here as well. Or let me just open it here. It's like in D, I'm just mentioning the name of the system as a credential name. Okay, like 01 unmanaged. Okay, type of the option, scan account, it will ask me. I'll just go with the SSH, because this account will be used running the scan against the server, Linux server, using the SSH. Okay, so all the Linux or Unix systems will be scanned under the SSH protocol. So any Linux based scan account will be run on the SSH type. Okay, it will ask me for the username. It will ask me for authentication type. Either I can go with the password, either I can go with the SSH key. If I have, I'll just go with the password now, mentioning the password. of the account. And the port number, if you have any customized port for the SSH, you can use it. Currently I'm just going with the port number, same port number. If your account, for example, if you have configured some account here and it's using some evaluation type like sudo, like enable, like pb run, enable in the Cisco, sudo in the Linux, so you can mention it here. But this is the root account, so it doesn't require any elevation. So then you can just create it at none and create it. This is how just to create a Linux based scan account there. Okay, let's verify the scan that we run. Yeah, it's completed, but it doesn't scan any server there. Okay, yeah, let's go with the second scan. I don't want to waste my time on the IP discovery. It's none of that. Okay. Yeah, the main part, for our side, it's on discovery, detailed discovery scan. The new scan, this is discovery scan is strongest scan that we run on a target system. What this detailed discovery scan, appears when you customize. You can see here, you can fetch the accounts. Either those accounts are running as a local users, either those accounts are running as a domain users on the target server. Okay, so you can limit it as well. You can fetch the services itself as well, like base services as admission pool, application pool, scheduled tasks, DCUM, XYZ. You can use the databases. You can fetch the softwares as well. So all these things will be scanned on the target system using this detailed discovery scan option. Okay, so that's why they call it like detailed discovery scan. So this is the strongest scan that we run on the target server to fetch the things, because these all things will somehow related to your onboarding. Okay, so let's go to the next, and I'll just go with the one of the server right now. 192.168 1 dot, I guess I have 230. I'm just going with the domain controller scan. Okay, 192.168 1 dot 230. So this is my domain controller. Okay, just clicking next, mentioning the agent. You can see here, this is only appliance I have currently running as an agent. And when you go to the credentials, you will see two boxes there. Either there are existing credentials, either there are some custom credentials you want to mention. Okay, if you don't have configured any credential in the past for the target system, you can mention the credential here as well. Okay, for just running the same scan for one time. But if you have saved credentials, like we created credential for Active Directory scan account that is actually under management. Okay, you can see here, that's why I mentioned is a managed. You can just mark it here and click on next. That's it. Okay, like for the same for the Linux as well, like as I mentioned, like this account is for this server and DLX01, and I'm going with the domain controller right now. Okay, so that's why I just mentioned the Active Directory scan account that we created and bought under the management of the BeyondTrust. So I just marked this one and click on next. The main thing it will show you, are you sure you want to proceed with without database credentials? Because when you are marking the database itself in the scan, or in the when we were configuring the scan type, so it was asking us to scanning the databases itself as well. So that's why it's asking us to select database credentials as well. Okay, so if I not mark the scan of the database, so it will proceed, but it will not fetch any database on the target server. It will fetch only the other things. Okay, so that's why it's asking me, it's showing me like a warning. Either you can just proceed with the same credentials, because these are the only host scans, like OS scans, operating system scans. Okay, so that's why it's asking me for running the scan either without database scan, either with scan. But if I'm mentioning the with scan, then it will definitely ask me for mention the database scan as well. Okay, so that's why I'm just proceeding it anyway, and it will not scan my database. Other than database, it will scan other things. Okay, like let's go with the detailed discovery scan. This is mentioning the name. I'll just mention a detailed discovery scan 01 as a testing, no any version, and I'll just run it as a immediate scan. Just finish, and it started. Okay, so let it just be complete, because some detailed discovery scan always take time, 5-10 minutes. So let's go back to the our next target. Okay, you saw here that we configured scans for Active Directory for Linux itself as well. Okay, let me just verify the scan, Linux scan. You can see Linux machine is on. Okay, I just want to verify the IP and also the my account, that is actually root account that I configured as a scan account. Okay, because I'm not sure what was the password, so let me just see. Yeah, so password is running. Okay, okay, I want to see the IP. You can see here my machine's IP is 192.168.1.213. Okay, so let's run the scan against the same Linux machine as well to validate the scan. Okay, so for I want to demonstrate the third option here as well. Like you can see here, if you have some kind of Linux machines, for example, if you have some kind of machines that you don't want to run a scan and running all the things like services, like databases like IS pools and XYZ, or sometimes you have only Linux machines, so you matter only the accounts, not the domain account or XYZ like this. So you have third option there. That what it will enable you to just scan the local accounts only on the target server. That's it. It will not touch any other options like services, like that actually detailed discovery was touching, like services, like databases, like softwares and XYZ. So if you don't want to run all the things, like even if you don't want to run the scan again, scanning the domain users as well, just going with the local users, you can mark it as well here. But you can, there is an option, the third option there, just discover the local accounts. That's it. So we'll use the local accounts, this discovery scan for the Linux machine. Okay, let's go with the local accounts, and I just mentioning the target IP. It's 213. This is my root. This is my this machine. As I told you that this is the machine that I want to run. Okay. Let me just go to the agent, just marking the agent, clicking on next, and then same, it will ask me for the credentials. So we have created the credential, as I told you that we created the credentials just a few minutes ago for this machine actually as a root. Okay, we use the root account. So just mark the scan account, scan credentials there. That this is the actually scan credential for this server. Clicking on next, and I'm just mentioning it like this server I'm just running LX01. Okay, I'm just going with the schedule immediately and finish. So you can see here, okay, AT scan, it's completed. Just it will take few seconds to reflect the things. Okay, you can see here there is no any host found yet, but it will reflect the things in a few minutes. Okay, so the recent scan that we run against the Linux server, it's here. You can see it's scheduled, and it will take few minutes again. Same for the completing the things. Okay. Once this scan complete, I will be able to see the domain controller that is scanned here. I should see. Okay. So let's wait. Let's wait for this to be completed. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like if I'm not wrong, your question is regarding the difference between the discovery scan and the smart rule, right? Okay, so as per diagram, I just want to demonstrate in a diagram way. You can see here when I'm talking to the building inventory. Okay, for building inventory, it means I have just I will use the discovery engine to build the inventory. That's it. Okay, for example, if I just completed the inventory building, I want to onboard the systems. I want to onboard the accounts using that same inventory that I built. So there is a way, okay? There is a way. Either I can go with the like manual way, okay? This is like a manual way I'm just mentioning. Okay. Either there is a way using a smart tool. For example, these are the smart tools engine, okay? And we configure some of the smart tools based on the criteria, okay? That will actually run this, you know, criteria on the smart, you know, assets in the inventory and put those under the management. That's it. In short way, in short way, like, you know, for example, if you are building only inventory, you need discovery engine, okay? The most strongest thing that we have in the BeyondTrust for building inventory. For example, if you are onboarding systems, okay, using a like manual way, or you know, not manual way, just using a smart tools. So smart tools will be used for, you know, onboarding all the systems or onboarding all the accounts in the into the BeyondTrust. That's it. The main task of the smart tool, and all the other operations we can perform smart tools as well. Like, let me show you. This is just to building inventory. That's it. Okay. Yeah, there is no confusion with this part. Okay, discovery part. Yeah. Okay, this completed. I'll just go with later. Let's go with the smart tools. You can see here we have three type of smart tools. This is the later part. This is the later actually, you know, discussion on the day, I guess 7 or 8. But let's begin this one just in a brief way. Okay. Look, smart tools is smart tool just runs rules. We configure the rules based on our criteria, selection criteria. We have three type of, you know, smart tools there. One is the asset based smart tool, second is the manage account based smart tool, third is the manage system based smart tool. The asset smart tools runs on the assets inventory. Okay, here, like what we build as an inventory, we want to run some rules on the inventory to perform any operations, like, you know, to perform any automation. So there is a asset based smart tool. Okay, you can see that, you can consider it like, you know, we have three type of smart tools there. One is asset based smart tool, okay, second is manage accounts based smart tool, third is manage system based smart tool. So what the asset based smart tool is, asset based smart tools runs on the assets tab, that is actually our inventory tab, or you can say that assets tab, that is actually we build the inventory on the assets tab, and we will perform automation on the assets tab. Like, you know, if I'm going for the, you know, any assets based smart tool, let me show you. We have multiple options there. We can export the data, okay. We can deploy in endpoint privilege management policy there. Like, if we have configured EPM solution from the BeyondTrust itself, so we can deploy the policy on the assets that we have. Okay, we can perform the management. Okay, we can onboard the assets. That is the main task that I was mentioning. We can, you know, perform the automation of onboarding of assets using the inventory. This is the task that this is the action that we can perform on the assets. Manage assets using password safe. That this enables you know, us to automate the onboarding phase of the assets. Okay, so what it will do, it will onboard the assets based on the criteria that we mention here. Okay, so if we have built an inventory, then criteria will match, otherwise it will not. Okay. Yes, for building inventory we scan, and for, you know, onboarding phase, most of the times, or performing some kind of automation, like these are the actions we can perform, like you can see. Okay, so to do this we have, you know, some smart tools. Okay, so this is the different, you know, discussion, you know, topic, like how many assets smart tools types are there, like XYZ. The main task of yeah. So you got the point. Okay. Okay. Yeah. For example, you know, that if someone's removed the server, someone's like, you know, the server is demolished, like from your IT infrastructure, and discovery scan is still scanning the performing the scan. Okay, so BeyondTrust will not find that server again. You will not find that server in the BeyondTrust with a new. Yeah, inventory will be there. The all things will be there, like all the let me show you. uh, Snaps will be there. No, it will not show you in active, it's a passive. It will show you like old snap. It will not run scan in the filter. Like you can see here, the filter. Okay, any scan, any asset that is found under the last 90 days. Okay, you will be able to see the asset there. If any discovery scan doesn't able to scan any asset, that is actually demolished. Okay, so you have old data here. So old data will be not showing you in last 90 days filter. That's why they applied 90-day filter here. Okay. Okay, yeah, let's go to the scans that we run, active or completed scans. You can see here we run detailed discovery scan against our AD server, like domain join server, and also we run a scan or against local accounts. Okay, local discovery scan against the our Linux server. Okay, root account that we created. So it's completed. You can see we only one host found because we only targeted one server. Okay, for each scan. So we completed. When we complete, we just go to the assets and you will see the latest updated. You can just sort out as per latest updated column, and you can see the last updated asset is this one, and this is actually showing me as a local, but sometimes it's showing you in a wrong details. But this is actually domain join server. Okay, you can see. Yeah, so it should show me the domain here, but it's not showing me. So it's none of like you can say the issue to we can reflect this one. So this engine have the issues, this type of issues as well. Okay, so you can expect these type of problems there, but the inventory is there. Most of the things you can see here, like it's the domain controller, it's the what's the operating system like XYZ. And when you want to just go in the depth, like what it is scan, you can just go to the details, and you will see here the snapshot, scan snapshot. Okay, the current snapshot, or you have multiple snapshots if you run a scan on a regular basis. Okay, so you will see the scan snapshot as per the last snapshot, as per the current snapshot you will see here. And as per the current snapshot you can see how many ports are running. Like you can see 139 389 445 3389. Okay, how many scheduled tasks you can see, like with the details, failed, successful, which account is running on that task, enabled or disabled, like this XYZ. These tasks are meant for the performing some kind of automation of the services as well. Okay, you can manage see the services itself, how many services are running. You can see AJ router, like XYZ, application info, all the system services. Okay, how many services are running and which services is running under that which account. Okay, like you can see local system account or any AD account. Okay, and also you can see the softwares itself as well: Mozilla Firefox, Mozilla Maintenance Services, Defender, and only 4 softwares are installed on the target server. So you have a detailed picture of the system. Okay, so this is just we build it, we just run the scan. This account is not under the management. Okay, you can see here this account is this server is there, but when you go to the manage system, so all the managed systems will appear here. So if there is any managed system, or a system that is actually managed by the BeyondTrust, you will see here. So I'm not able to see any asset there that we just run the scan, because of this is just inventory. Okay, we will just run the scan, and we have to perform the onboarding phase, or you can say that we have to perform the operation of onboarding to make these systems or make these assets as a managed system or bring under the management. Okay, so yeah, this is actually how to verify the details. Like let me show you this Linux machine that I have. Actually you can see that I ran the scan with using the root account. So just go to the advanced details and you will see the details here as well. What I did, actually I run the local discovery scan. Okay, local accounts scan. So it will not run this scan against the services. It will not run the scan against the tasks. It will not run the scan against the softwares. It will just show me the accounts. Okay, you can see here 21 accounts, find it. Local accounts, like you can see here the ADM, PEN, these are the system accounts. You see the operator. So I can just mention, apply the filter here to verify how many privilege accounts are there. You can see only two privileges we can find, like normal user and root account. I can verify the root account. I have 5 root accounts here, you can see. And I can just verify the password age as well. I can just verify the last login as well. So based on these data, we perform the automation of the accounts, automation of the onboarding, automation of the uh, onboarding of accounts using these data. In case, for example, we have a policy in our own IT infrastructure, or in our infrastructure, that no any account on any of the Linux server should be having age of like 30, more than 30 days. So I can just build a smart tool that will, what it will do, it will, based on the data, based on the inventory that we configure in the BeyondTrust, or that BeyondTrust is getting, based on the inventory, what it will do, it will onboard all the accounts, mentioning with the root privileges, with the more than 30 days password age. It will automatically onboard into the BeyondTrust and start password rotation. you know so these type of automation you can perform through the BeyondTrust. And these this all, yeah. Okay. For example, currently what we use root account for the running scan. Okay. In case you have thousands of assets like Linux. Okay. So what you have to do, you have to create root account, or you have to create scan account, okay, with the required privileges on each system. Okay, like for thousands assets are there, thousand Linux assets are there. So you have to create each assets, login into each assets, and creating a new, you can say that root account, or you can say that scan account there. So this is some kind of a long task, uh, problem for the IT administrators, Linux administrators. So then they actually need some kind of automation, or you can say that they need some kind of solution like Bridge. That what it will do, it will perform bridging between your Linux systems, all the Linux systems, with the your Active Directory domain. Okay, what it will do, it will join your Linux systems with your all Active Directory. Okay, so then what you can perform, you can use the AD account to perform scan, or you can perform authentication from Active Directory users. So you will not need for the root accounts to be performing any operation. You can just perform the any operation, or you can just log in multiple users, or you can just assign the AD users to log in into the Linux servers itself as well, and you can assign the policy itself as well. Yeah. Session, yeah, because AD users will be there in the BeyondTrust. You have to just link the accounts. That's it. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, yes. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. This comes some kind of AD bridging actually. Mm. Yes, yes, yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's actually GPOs you assign, because in GPO you can configure these things actually. Group. Yes, in Active Directory. You push the GPUs according, because by default GPU will allow the default policies, default settings. So this is all about the GPUs that they pushed actually on the Linux servers. Yeah. So yeah, this was I guess let me just show you. The one thing that I missed actually, we can, if you are ready today, we can do this today, or you can do this tomorrow as well. It's up to you. Yeah, tonight. No, 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 tonight. Yeah, you can. We can start tonight. Yeah, yeah, I have time. The last part, the main thing. Yes, yes. The last part, that we left actually, what we left, we run the scan against the AD server, okay, domain join server. We run the scan against the Linux server. The last part is the local Windows machine and the MSSQL database, okay, to run the scan against the MSSQL database. So let's begin. I have one of the MSSQL database, I guess. Let me just open it. Okay. We can work on the Oracle, but currently I don't have the Oracle database. I have only MSSQL. If you have in your infrastructure, yeah, we can do this later. Yeah, Oracle. And look, databases. Yeah, we can work on database, but conceptually it's completely same. It's nothing different. Like for example, same like for Active Directory, for same like Linux systems, like any Linux systems. Currently, I'm using CentOS, so you can use Ubuntu or any server that you have, like Red Hat. So concept is same. Like no more, no any changes. Okay, 001. Yeah, this server, I guess I have this. Look, let me show you. The server is local, I guess server. Let me just verify. I'll use a local administrator account. Okay. So I have, this is the local administrator, I guess. Yeah. Just show you the password. I just want to verify you that what we are using. The account that I used actually your local account. Okay. Okay, you can see this is the local account, and also yeah, you can see here localhost SA account. I will use the SA account. Okay, currently. Let me just verify the password. So it should be there. Okay, yeah, it's not running. So let me just open it. Service is not properly running. Yes, local. Okay. Okay, service is running. Let me just open it. So I guess SA account is working. Yeah. Okay. You can see here database engine is there. SA account is working. This is my SA account. That's my local account. Okay. So let me just view the IP as well. 115. Okay. Yeah. So what we will do, let's go back to the BeyondTrust, go to configuration. We have to configure the scan account there. for the database itself. Okay. And also we'll configure the local administrator account for the scan purposes as well, because what we have to do, we have to run the scan on this server first, and then it will log in into this SQL database. Okay, so we have to perform two type of when I'm running the scan against the databases, I have to provide two credentials there, one for the OS operating system level and second for the database. Okay, so this operating system that I'm using, it's not domain join. Okay, so this account that I will use, it's local administrator account. So in this way, we'll cover the two type of scan, like for local administrator servers and for the SQL databases itself as well. Perfect. Yeah. Any question? Just ask me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You mean SSMS school? This is the studio that I'm using. Yeah, it's 2022 actually. The interface is different current from the older one. No. Actually, what it will do, it will run the scan first on the server itself. The server I am using, it's local administrator. Okay, so first it will need OS scan to log in into the server itself. Okay, then it will run the scan on the SQL database. So it will require the SA credentials or some kind of elevated credentials on the SQL its database itself, not the server database itself. So then we'll use the SA account. So we'll use in total two accounts for running the database scan. One for the OS, same OS, and one for the SA. OS that OS account or OS account of that server where the database is hosted. Okay. So this is the server where the database is hosted. That is actually 115. Okay, you can see here. So let me just first configure the local database, local administrator account, local Windows account. Okay. So let's go with the naming like local. I'm just going with the host name of this account, this server. Okay, this is the host name, jump server 01. Okay, jump server 01 local administrator. Okay, and this is Windows based credential, no any domain because this is local one. Okay, you can bypass this one and just mention the administrator, the password that I have. Okay, so this is the OS credential. Okay, you can see here it's Windows. So now what I have to do, I have to create SA credentials. Okay, for the scanning SA, uh, like for example 192.168.1.115. This is the actually IP, that's what I mentioned, and this is the MSSQL database, you can see. Okay, I'll go with the MSSQL database and it will ask me either you go with the Windows or SQL. I'm going with the SQL authentication. Okay, because SA is SQL. No any domain join, this SQL SA, and 1453. And I am using the default port 1433, just creating. And now you can see we have created two accounts for the credentials. Okay, one for the OS, one for the database. So I'll just run the scan against the server using these two accounts. As I told you, then when I was running the scan against the database, it was asking me for the database credential. At that time I didn't hit the credential for the database. So okay, so now when I configure both accounts there, and I'll just mark the accounts, so it will not ask me for any credential for the database. Okay, so let me just show you. I'll just go with the detail discovery scan with all the details mentioned. Click on next. I'll mention the IP of the target server, that's actually 115 where the database is hosted. Click on next, mentioning the agent. Then it will reflect me the servers, you can see the prompt here as well. Okay, so you have to mention the database credentials itself as well and the OS credentials itself as well. What if I'm going with the only database credential? So it will ask me, like when I click, when I just run, it will not work properly. Okay, so you have to mention OS credentials itself as well. Okay, so this is for the OS and this is for the scan. Automatically it will inject the OS credentials into the OS, and it will inject the SI credentials into the SQL database. So I have to mark both and then click on next. So now you can see it didn't ask me for the database credential because I already marked. What if I just unmark this one, and when I click on next, then it will ask me for database credentials because I have not selected any database credentials there. Even I'm going with I'm going to scan the database itself. So that's why I have to mark the scan credentials of the database and then click on next, verify the name of the credential. Okay, so scan. Okay, and then I will go with the schedule immediately and finish. That's it. It will just start, and after few minutes we will be able to see here is a database. You can see the icon database icon there as well. Okay, currently you can see only the server itself, and it's a scan. This is the scan icon. Okay, you can see scanned asset. But what if a server have hosting the database itself as well, and BeyondTrust identified or recognized the database through the scan? So you will be able to see the database icon there as well, that this server is hosting the database itself as well, and you will see the database details there as well. Yeah, let's just complete this one and then we'll verify. Yeah, I guess today's agenda, this one we achieved actually. The last part that we are working with the MSSQL database. That's it. Tomorrow or in the next session, will start the onboarding phase. Okay. Tonight. Yes. Yep. 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 Let's just complete this one and then complete. Yeah. Look, you look around actually, this diagram, because I'm a like a little bit diagram person, so I want to explain in a diagram way. Like just make. Yeah. Literally, when I was learning this, actually, beyond test, I was way confused every time. New terminology, new things. Actually, yeah. Now this diagram, or you can say this conceptual diagram, will enable you to perform the troubleshooting as well. Because sometimes you don't have the process that how you onboard the systems, or where to start, where from you can start. Like for example, if users are complaining, I'm not able to see my assets there in the beyond test. So first of all, you will verify the like how many permissions that I assigned in the beyond test. Okay, so then based on the permissions, based on the smart groups, you will identify that those smart groups have those accounts that user is requiring or not, those managed accounts. If not, then either those accounts or systems are already onboarded into the payment test or not, through the smart rules or automation at the back end that we configured or administrator configured. If not, then all you have to verify that either in inventory you found some assets, or the assets are demolished at the back end, or accounts are demolished XYZ. So you can just verify from the inventory as well, either they are scheduled or not. If not, you can just run a new scan and then verify the assets and XYZ. That's what you can then in such a way, from. Yeah, yeah, their assets, some of the assets they are not able to see. So you can verify them. And also sometimes they can see the assets, but they are not able to log in. Like sometimes they are seeing the error like stored credentials error, or sometimes they see the uh, no any access policy error, no any password safe error, password safe icon error. So these are all managed on the this last phase actually, assigning permissions. So from reverse order you can just perform the troubleshooting in such a way. Mhm. Yeah, for example, if he's mentioning that the password, a session is initiating, and I can see the authentication error in the session at the back end. BeyondTrust is injecting the wrong credentials. You can verify the test credential from the BeyondTrust itself, that either BeyondTrust have the correct password or not. At the back end, they change the password, and BeyondTrust have the old password. So you can perform the change perform password operation from the BeyondTrust itself to verify the new credentials. Yep. Yes. From the Beyond Task, from the Beyond Task have, yes, actually Beyond Task have, schedule like rotating the password for next 30 days. Okay. So after 30 days, it will change the password, new password. So till that time, Beyond Task will have the old password that he configured, like, from that Beyond Task itself configured. It doesn't know that at the back end, AD administrator or the system administrator change the password on a system level. So that's the problem. So that's why they provided us the test credential option there to verify the credentials that don't have. Hmm. Actually, in a large environment, they have their segregated team. So for the PAM point of view, or beyond us, this solution point of view, they should have access to the all other systems as well. If they don't have, then beyond us will have only visibility to the BT systems. That's it. And also the system administrators will be managing their own, and the Linux administrators will be managing their own. So in such a way, there's a complexity sometimes. Yes, but it's. Mhm. But look, it's managing your assets. Like, it's managing completely of access of your systems, like all the systems, AD, Linux, SQL. So it's like a layer of the, of all your assets, above all your assets. So it should have at least, access, unlimited access to the systems itself as well. Like for the database, like XYZ. So he can, they can identify payment administrators should have the access to the systems itself. So even they can identify that there is a contradiction between the systems and the beyond trust solutions itself, solution passwords itself as well. Otherwise, it's a mess. Okay. Yeah, you can see here. Now the assets is completed. You can see the only one asset we found because we only targeted one system, one database server. So let's go to the assets. And yeah, you can now the main problem you can see here, whenever you just run the scan and you find here the host, but you are not able to see any host there, any system there here. So most probably what the problem is, go to the smart rules. There is a all asset smart rule there. So by default, it should process the new items there, but if not, then just manually process this one. And let's go to the back to the assets, and you will see the new asset there as well. What I did, no. These smart tools are by default there, and by default you can see here lock item. Lock items are there, by default created smart tools. So these smart tools actually what it perform the their smart tool engine actually by default runs process all the smart tools on schedule basis, on like for 1 minute, 2 minute, or 30 days. Okay. So if any change occurs, if BeyondTrust identifies any change, so it process the smart tools. Sometimes smart tool engine doesn't process properly the smart tools. Okay, so what you have to do, whenever you run the scan and you find here the asset, like right now I saw you, you know I found that, my scan, found one of the asset. But when I go to the asset, even I apply the all date filter, I was only able to see only these three assets, not the fourth asset that I just run the scan and scanner is showing me in the scan results. Okay, but I was not able to see in the assets inventory. So most probably the smart rule, the smart group that you are using here, it's all assets, it's not being processed at the backend. So that's why I asked you, just go to the smart rules there and navigate to that all assets smart group and just manually process there. When you process, automatically it will reflect the new changes there. Okay, good. Yeah, you can see here the now icon database host. So this server is successfully scanned, and also we scanned their domain as well. It's BT, and this server, it's running on the 2019 standard evaluation, and it have the hosting database itself as well. You can go to the details itself and to verify the things like how many ports that are running, 445. This is the SQL port 1433. This is RDB port, and also you can verify the scheduled tasks, services, softwares, and users. You can verify the database from itself here, general database, and you can see two databases are running, like MSSQL server, MSSQL server 01. This server we didn't successfully run. It just verified that two databases are there because we run the scan that was the account. The database account was only for this instant. Okay, so that's why it's showing you 1433, connecting port, it's there. Okay, but this server, it scanned but not properly, you can see, because of this server's scan account we didn't inject it into the BeyondTrust. You got it? You can, no, you can manage, but currently I just use the SA account as a scan account. You can create a different scan account in the SQL database to run the scan, and you can manage the SA account into the Pioneers. We will manage. You can see here, uh, SA account. Okay, database accounts will not reflect here. Okay, so when we onboard the database, I'll just show you how to run the onboard the after onboarding database, how to onboard the SA account into the BeyondTrust. It's a manual way, okay? Or you can create SA accounts on a bulk way on the different databases. It's up to you. Okay, so this is the later part, but the main thing that today's task was to just build an inventory, okay, of all the assets that we have. Like you can see here, we have built it the inventory of Linux systems. Okay, we have built it the inventory of AD joint systems or AD system, that is actually domain controller, and also we built it the local administrator servers with their databases itself as well. So I guess, yeah. Yes. Yeah. Now, based on this inventory, or you can say that based on the updated things, we will apply the smart rules to perform the actions, like, for actions of onboarding, actions of, getting reports, actions of, assigning permissions, like XYZ, all the things we can perform from the smart rules based on the inventory data. Yeah, that's it. That's it for today. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, sure, sure. Thank you. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. See you. Bye bye.